You step into Zelith Crowspire's tidy office. The Inquisitive calls out to you. Step inside, quickly. There are eyes everywhere. Zelith pulls a switch and nods toward the back of the building. You hear the scrape of stone on stone as the concealed back door slides open. You walk out into the streets of Cogsgate. Towers loom high above, so tall they block out the night sky. Anyone who knows what's good for them will stay indoors tonight. A rain of blood has fallen here, and it's up to you to mop up the mess. Despite the slurred words, you learn more about the basketball rivalry from Korean. You know what the other residents of the neighborhood. The doors to the gambling hall are wide open and its chairs are empty, though the nearby tables are still covered with food and drink. Looks like the customers left in a hurry. You find a crossbow bolt still lodged in the rich's side. You also notice several caches on the wall. The chest full of coins is left here locked and unchecked. This was no robbery. You think there's more to this than meets the eye. The incriminating information in this ledger would fetch a pretty price on the black market. You wonder why the murderer would leave it behind. Searching the gambling hall raised more questions about the murders than answers. As you turn to leave, you hear figures climbing outside the building. You strike down the last of this group of dastard thugs and check to make sure there are no more nearby. Now to leave the way you came. Open the door to the apartment. The surprisingly well-decorated rooms show signs of a struggle. Your stomach clenches in anticipation as you near the crime scene. Felon must have spent his recent winnings digging himself out of debt. Imagine meeting your end right after getting yourself clear. At least he died in the black. After examining the corpse, you can see that he was killed by a poisoned crossbow bolt. His last gambling ticket lies just out of reach. Felon had just won big, cleaning up on a match in an underground fighting ring down in the Cogs. Despite clear attempts to make this look like a break-in, all of Felon's valuables are still in their proper places. As you mull this over, you hear voices from the direction of the front door. You manage to make it past the Dask thugs blocking your way. The Dask thugs let you pass. Thanks to your quick tongue and winning personality, you've learned all you can about these places. You could bet Zealot and monsters revealing a small universe part of the Cogsgate. The door to the pawn shop is unlocked, just as with the other crime scenes. Inside, the shopkeeper's body lies forgotten alongside all the other cast-offs in her shop. A closer look at the keg reveals a hidden compartment filled with smuggled goods. Some small packages lie in the cauldron. No doubt they were hidden there so they could be fenced on the black market later. A different body, but the same song. Crossbow bolt dipped in poison, all covered in slashes. This time a new detailed cartridge found, a shattered pin bearing the odd electrotechnic symbol. The murderer could have emptied the pawn shop, and yet only Maud's life was taken. Armed with your findings, you wonder, what connects all these gruesome crimes? The last of the heavily armed halfling thugs falls. Another alley stretches before you. The more you learn about the victims, the more questions you have. You can only hope that Zolta's crossfire holds the answers you've been A tiefling stands before you, with a face you remember from your recent adventures. Despite your own shock leaving him again, you hope that Zoltas is willing to answer your questions. Zoltas steps through a dimension door, his face glowing with the smug triumph of a man who thinks he's won, though you're too busy dealing with his troll bodyguard to notice. The troll topples, yet another casualty of this bloody night. Now, to meet up with Zealot. Zelith shakes her head, the weight of her brother's betrayal settling over her like the dirt that falls on the streets from above. You've got a job ahead. Look at Fancy meets The secret door slides open, revealing a Medusa. Oddly enough, she doesn't seem surprised to see you. Instead, she motions for you to enter. More slashes on the palm, and this time you see the pattern. You wonder how you could have missed such an important clue. The slashes reveal to you the killer's signature. Whoever did this was a child flooded by cancer. You find a security ledger embossed with vaunted chronotestic symbols. A quick glance reveals that every victim had a It's too big of a coincidence to overlook, especially since a note in the margin talked about cleaning up loose ends. You stoop down to search the contents of Nayland's pack. Looks like he was fleeing for his life when the murderer got to him. That ledger told you what you needed to know. The victims all worked for Avant and were killed because they knew too much about his operations down in the dark. You strike down the last of these victims. Can't let these petty thugs hold you back, and not when you're so close to the truth. You catch up with Zelda and fill her in on the clues you found so far. She points you towards an alleyway northwest of where the goblin was last seen. Talking to the residents has given you more insight. A familiar voice echoes from behind this door.
What part of make it look like an accident didn't you understand? And leaving your signature behind was beyond stupid. Now Zelith is onto us. It's only a matter of time before he and the adventurers come barging in here.
Zelith shakes her head. Sometimes it's a stranger who holds the knife. Sometimes it's family. I let blood cloud my judgment, and I'll pay for that every day. But I'll keep going. I'll move on to the next crime and the next.